the Shitcase Cinema.
Do you ever get recognised in day-to-day life? Well, I get recognised every single day when I look in the mirror. Yeah, but seriously, I've never actually bumped into a Shitcase Cinema fan out on the street. I mean, how many fans are out there worldwide, and the chance of me bumping into one of you guys, slim to none. But if you ever do see me walking around, just go, yo, Johnny Shitcase, I'll buy you a beer, and I'll be like, thanks very much. Well, obviously getting any kind of viewing figures like that is fantastic, you know, it's quite humbling. I think I've said in the past, it's the quintessential Shitcase review. It's definitely my favourite, I think. It's definitely the most bizarre film I've ever seen. So yeah, but it should have more than that, so tell your friends about it, alright? I think Asian horror movies generally do it better. I think they've got more of an idea of what the audience expects as opposed to Hollywood. You know, they just churn out remakes. Remakes is always watered down, it's always based on jump scares. I think a lot of the Asian horror is generally creepy, you know. It's even the stereotypical stuff, you know, the long black hair, you know, like a la Grudge, The Ring. Yeah, I think a lot of it's fantastic. There's a lot of bullshit out there, but hey, there you go. What films do I think should never be remade? And if they do, what would my reaction be? Stuff like, well, you know, I've always said stuff like The Thing should never be remade, but they did that, even though it was kind of a prequel, sorry. But, you know, stuff like The Godfather shouldn't be touched, or, you know, things like E.T. or Jaws, things like that should not be remade. If they ever are, then, you know, at least, they'll probably be crap, but at least the original's still there. I mean, Poltergeist just got remade this year. I've not seen it, I've heard it's terrible, which I can believe. But, you know, it can't tarnish the original, it's still there for us to enjoy. So, my reaction would be just to not bother watching these pile of shit and just say, give me the original any day. That would be my reaction. Following on from that, what's my take on modern remakes? I don't particularly care for them too much. I've only seen a handful of remakes I think are better than the originals, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know a lot of people prefer the original, but whatever. And what is it? What do you think of the rumours about the Rockstar and the Big Trouble in Little China remake? Ridiculous! Come on, the original's got Kurt fucking Russell in it, and why would you remake that? That's just stupid. It is long, it is boring at times, but I kind of enjoy it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. You know, it's kind of. I won't say it's therapeutic in a way. Do you know, it's a tough question to answer, is that. It takes a long time to put the videos together, as maybe you'll know if you do stuff yourself. Especially if you're going for a movie review, it's just like, oh, maybe you want to talk about this particular clip. You've got to go through the entire film. It's a film if you don't know very well, you've got to go through it, and sometimes that takes bloody half an hour to find that particular little 2-second soundbite that you want to use. So that's when it gets annoying. I don't mind doing it, otherwise I wouldn't have been doing this for 7 years or whatever it is now, would I? I only get to put 4 faces on. Well, because I'm the head honcho of Shitcase Cinema, I would chisel 10 faces onto each one face, because there's probably about 40 Shitcase Legends these days. So there you go. I like to throw a spanner into the work to make my own rules up, so I have 40 Shitcase Legends up there. Failing that, I would just fucking put a huge one of myself up there and let people worship me. Have I ever watched a film so bad that it makes me question what I'm doing in my life? No. You having a laugh? I think I'd rather meet Bennett, because then I could show him the Bennett song that we did and just see his reaction and then just laugh. Good question. I'll be the better man and say Professor Bruce.
Who would win in a one-liner off? John or Professor Bruce? Only one way to find out. Fight!
Do I do any other videos? Yeah, I do other videos. In fact, I'll tell you what. Get yourself on over to the Shitcase page. Here's the address, look, not the group, but the page. There's little bits and bobs on there. So just to give you a quick example, here's a 10-second montage I'm going to put together randomly just to whet your appetite.
Get your hands in the air for Zed the Exterminator.
Can't see my chin.
And it's Karen Kenny, you motherfucker! I'll drive myself and split the money with you. No one's got a copy.
Well, fuck you.
You asshole. Tough question, I have no idea, it's quite a few, but let's just watch this video montage and keep count.
I want to know what this manual is all about.
So you just knew that he would become a villain because of his killer tash, and all villains here on Shitcase Cinema have got a tash.
that we all wear a fake moustache in honour of those two goons. If it'll stay on, that is. So that was the Ninja Squad. What an utter waste of time.
And there's not really much to say about the fighting either.
Oh, Godfrey, you're a wizard.
Sorry. I am a goon though. That's a tough one to answer, I'm afraid. You know as well as I do that there's so many Shitcase Legends. In fact, I can't remember most of them. There's like Richard Harrison, One Man Force, the Oh My God guy, Ultimate Ninja Mike Abbott, the dad from what's it called? You know what I want about him. He goes, the father from No Retreat, No Surrender, the cyborg cop guy. I mean, there's loads. I can't even remember most of them, to be honest, without going back and looking through the reviews. So I just put them all on the same pedestal. How's that?
I have a few. I quite like. I think it's Marston's Brewery that does one called Snack Lifter. It's quite nice, and I quite like Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey as well. I know it's not a beer, but that's quite nice as well. I have a hip flask somewhere, and I usually have that full of the stuff. It's pretty good.
I recently rewatched all the Lethal Weapon films. I enjoy that series a lot. Mel Gibson really, he gets a good repertoire going with Danny Glover. It's fantastic. I love the Alien films. Indiana Jones is a great series. Die Hard is good up to 4. There's loads, you know. I can't even think of many off the top of my head, to be honest, right now. Back to the Future was great. I can't think of any more. Sorry. Terrible answer. Never thought about directing. What the fuck am I talking about? Never thought about reviewing a Chuck Norris film, to be honest, and a direct Steven Seagal video. Come on, Jesus Christ, I have my limits.
Watch this space. Ever since, I don't know who it was who asked that question. I've been following the thread, but I can't remember names off the top of my head. But ever since whoever it was asked that question, John's been talking about it. So we're meeting on Friday. We're meeting Wayne on Friday. So hopefully there'll be another interview with the caveman fairly soon, which is good.
First of all, old buddy, what's your name?
Caveman Wayne.
No, sorry. I went, first of all, old buddy. What's your name? Therefore your name's old buddy.
Wayne. Alright, well you got one question wrong. Here's your second question. James Caan played Sonny in The Godfather.
Yes.
Right? Marlon Brando played Vito Corleone. Who played Sonny?
Robert De Niro.
What are you talking about? I just said James Caan. I've asked him that 3 times now and he's got it wrong on all 3 times.
James Caan, I knew it.
We'll be back with a full-length interview with the caveman at some point in the future. Thanks very much.
There you go.
Yeah, we found Susan. That storyline's over now and can be put to bed. Turns out she was a butterfly, at least in the Shitcase Cinema universe. That was in the In Hell review, if you missed that one. So yeah, stop looking for her now. The film's so bad that I've never actually completed watching it. Oasis of Zombies, I never actually got through watching all of that. Started watching something called Zombievers or something. I could tell it was going to be atrocious, but I think I watched maybe 5 minutes and just turned it off. That was one of those films which tries to be bad, and it failed miserably. You know, it was garbage. 5 minutes was more than I could take. Didn't like the people in it, didn't like the story, the humour, whatever.
Can I ask for Professor Bruce's hand in marriage? No, sorry, because I'm still using it. I need my hand for various things like playing guitar, writing, using a fork. So yeah, I'm afraid I'm still using it. Sorry.
Why do I review bad films as opposed to good ones? Good question. I just get more enjoyment out of watching bad films. They're much more entertaining and amusing. I get a lot of enjoyment out of them. They make for better reviews, let's face it. Fact. Whereas if these days, if I watch a film that all the masses all over the world like and thinks it's a good film, I honestly sit there just thinking, this is meant to be a good film. actually a bad film. So sometimes if I watch a good film, I just kind of sit there and just want to go, wah! Like that. And that's why I'll stick to watching bad films and doing reviews of bad films. Do you know what? I think I'd actually make quite a good TV weatherman. And all the shitty films come over from Hong Kong and come this way. Maybe not. Have you seen any films that you've enjoyed? I don't really go to the cinema much. But the only film I've seen this year at the cinema is that new Avengers film. I thought it was pretty good, it was alright, but I think it was a little bit too long and it was predictable and there was no danger for the characters. I'm just saying negative things here about the film, I just said it's quite good. Yeah, Avengers 2. Nope, so no opinion. Yep, I've been to Bradford before, strange question. It's only a stone's throw away, or 2 or 3, but I've been before, not for many years, but yes.
I've recommended this to several people, and I always tell them the same thing about it. I always briefly summarise the plot as elderly Elvis Presley and elderly JFK in a retirement home fighting an evil Egyptian mummy, an evil ancient Egyptian mummy, and I always feel the urge, I always want to follow that up with, it sounds shit but it's actually a really good movie. Please clarify to viewers that you will blah 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 blah. Okay, I can confirm that I will not review any of these titles down here, so stop asking. And in fact, a couple of years ago I did a review on The Room, and here's a clip.
The Room. John, what rating do you give it?
Nothing.
There you go, that's the review
Shitcase
of The Room.
Cinema score 0 out of 10. I used to get loads of fan requests all the time to the point that I just couldn't keep up. The thing with the requests I used to get, and still do occasionally, is if it's stuff I've never heard of, or it's stuff that I just can't get my hands on. So it's probably best to just find things myself, in all honesty. First one I ever bought, I can't remember, mate. I do really clearly remember though buying Assassins on my 15th birthday on proper VHS. I think I'd seen it like the year before, and I remember just getting a new TV and VHS player for my bedroom, and I just saw the cassette then. I went, I'll buy that as well for my birthday. So yeah, how's that for an answer? I'll be perfectly honest, I expect a lot of films that I watch these days to be garbage, so I go in with no expectations, whether it's something I see at the cinema or just watch at home, or watch with a bunch of friends, out and about, having a few drinks. I think it's probably because I watch so much crap for Shitcase Cinema that I know there's so much garbage out there that it lowers my expectations. Or maybe just because I'm getting old and cynical nowadays, I just don't like new things. It's probably true. Will you ever get some kind of night with me? Oh. I don't know. I don't know how you go about doing that unless you organise some kind of convention or something like that, Hire out a pub and use the function room and get loads of good food in there and lots of booze and get a big projection screen and watch loads of cool movies and have a good time and yeah, just see what happens. It'll never happen though. Oh man, in the words of Neil Page, Steve Martin, I want that fucking 4-hour version right fucking now. I would kill for a 4-hour version of that. I wouldn't pay $1,000 or £1,000, but I would kill to see it. Oh yeah.
As for the question, best diet plan, it varies between people, but for me I think the best diet plan was getting out of a rather crappy situation and after years of kind of having my nose to the grindstone, suddenly having a chance to basically being able to take the blinkers off and being able to have a look around really and reevaluate what was going on, reevaluate what I was doing and all that. I think that's the best thing for I think that might be pretty good for a lot of people, not just for weight loss but for a lot of things. Yeah, so that was an unnecessarily deep philosophical answer to that question, but I don't know, that feels like it's closest to the truth. So yeah.
Full Moon, I doubt it. They're just... no. Probably the same one as you. It would be a great honour for you though. Why did I go to New Zealand for a few months? Because I wanted to. How about that? Yeah, I went there for about nearly 8 months, travelling around. I went to Australia, which is there. Went to Las Vegas, which is there. Came home, which is here. So yeah, there you go. Great time, beautiful little country. Definitely recommend it. And I even got to bury a dead possum.
Oh, I got maggots all over it. Oh dear. Quick. Oh god damn.
What would it take? How about some money? See, the thing is, I used to primarily do a lot of horror films and monster films, but recently I just can't seem to find any worth reviewing. Not that are fun or amusing. It's always like low budget action or ninja films or something ridiculous like that. And as for newer horror films, the genre just doesn't do it for me anymore. Dare I say, I don't even like horror films as much as I used to do, because this is newer stuff, because they're also watered down and it's the same old, same old. They're just not as much fun, for lack of a better word, as the ones that I used to watch growing up in the 80s. Yeah, there's definitely that fun element missing. So yeah, if I can find them, I'll review them. Well, in this day and age, I mean, they remake anything, so is it possible to remake Zardoz? Yeah, sure, but it wouldn't hold a candle to the original. Yeah, it's a shit film, it's ridiculous, but I honestly think it's hilarious, and I think in 100 years' time, or 200 years' time, when future generations are looking back to see what kind of shitty films that were made back in the day, they'll look at Zardoz and they'll think, holy shit, that is amazing, and they'll start worshipping it. And whatever future religions are out there, or ones that are still used nowadays, in the future they'll be like, what are we thinking? Let's worship Zardoz, and you'll have giant stone heads, and or maybe they'll worship me, who knows. I like Arnie's comeback film so far. Last Stand is enjoyable, I really enjoyed that. He did Escape Plan with Stallone, again I enjoyed that. There should have been more action in it, but I think Arnie pulled off some decent acting chops, and it was quite different. Sabotage wasn't too good. He's recently done Maggie, a drama zombie thing. Terminator Genesis comes out very, very soon. So I like what Arnie's done, you know. Stallone, yeah, his recent stuff's okay. Bullet to the Head was fine. Can't actually think of anything else that he's done recently. Grudge Match, I enjoyed that with De Niro. Not really my cup of tea generally, that kind of film, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, sure, why not? I love Van Damme. So does Bruce. Sure, why not? Yeah. I could get closer to Arnold and it'd be fantastic, and I could just talk like this all the time and hang around and smoke some stogies and, you know, just forget about the brother, and then we're walking around and he's paying for his lovely fantastic meals and I'm just getting really happy and we're having a good time laughing, and then we get more excited than before we know it, we go la la la. Strange question, stupid answer. What happened to Professor Bruce? Well, I'll just use this clip from an interview in 2012 and let it say everything.
Mutton chops, mutton chops, mutton chops, mutton chops, mutton chops.
I have sideburns all the time anyway, leave me alone. I'll punch you in bollocks.
No, you want my hands covering them. That's why you can...
See, this is why I don't appear in reviews anymore, because it's a twat.
Yeah, I watched Universal Soldier Day Reckoning, number 4. Atrocious film. I mean, action-wise, for a low-budget direct-to-DVD, it was fantastic. It was really well shot, and it's got a good cast of action stars. But as far as like part of the Universal Soldier franchise, it got nothing to do with it. They just slapped on Universal Soldier to try and sell a few more copies. Absolutely ridiculous. Jean-Claude Van Damme, why is he running around with white makeup all over? Probably just to conceal his stunt double most of the time. Oh yeah. Dolph Lundgren, what's he doing in there? Ridiculous film. I think the question you actually wanted to phrase was, would Professor Bruce have sex with Johnny Shitcase for £1 million? Come on, let's face it, the answer is obvious. Of course he would. But I think the real key question is, would you? Probably Jean Villain from Expendables 2, just because of the ridiculous name.
What was the first review ever made? Commando. Back in 2008.
I didn't even know there was a Camp Blood 4, sorry. Maybe. I've done the other 3, so why the hell not? Exploitation films? No. Stingray or Seagal? Ooh, I think it'd be a close one. But then there's a puff of smoke, and Richard Harrison just pops up in his Ninja Army camouflage outfit and just shurikens both of them, wiggles his tash and then disappears in another cloud of smoke. The end.
Yeah, thanks for the questions, and see you later on, I guess. So